Huawei sues US over government ban on its products. World News. The Guardian. Chinese company files lawsuit claiming restriction is unlawful, harms consumers and violates constitution. Chinese company files lawsuit claiming restriction is unlawful, harms consumers and violates constitution. Huawei is suing the US over a government ban on its products, raising the stakes in a protracted diplomatic incident between China, the US and, where a senior Huawei executive is facing extradition. In a statement on Thursday, the Chinese telecoms equipment and smartphone manufacturer said it had filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court in Plano, Texas, home to the company's U.S. headquarters, calling for the ban on U.S. government agencies buying equipment or services to be overturned. This ban not only is unlawful, but also restricts Huawei from engaging in fair competition, ultimately harming U.S. consumers. We look forward to the ban, a provision of the National Defense Authorization Act signed by Donald Trump in August, also prevents government agencies using third-party contractors who use Huawei products. Huawei, founded in 1987 by former military engineer Ren Zhengfei, has long faced accusations of being connected to the Chinese government. For years, under the country's national intelligence law, the company would be required to cooperate with Chinese authorities if asked. Ren has repeated, Huawei is not owned, controlled, or influenced by the Chinese government. Moreover, Huawei's chief financial officer, Meng Wanzhou, the daughter of the company's founder, is facing extradition proceedings in Canada, where she was arrested in December at the request of the U.S. Meng faces the lawsuit adds to what is likely to be months, if not years, of legal battles as well as continued diplomatic tensions. Meng is, after Canada approved the beginning of the extradition process last week, Chinese authorities released a statement further detailing allegations against the detained Canadians, of being. Chinese officials have described the U.S. charges against Huawei as an attempt to suppress Chinese firms. On Thursday, Huawei is the second largest smartphone maker as well as a global leader in 5G wireless networks. The U.S. has been. The lawsuit marks the company's most aggressive move yet after several months of a public relations push. In recent months, Prism on the wall. Who's the most trusted?